those criteria. With that, we designed first generation nuclear energy system, as you can see in this slide. It is composed of interim storage, power processing, recycling and transmutation of transuranics in first generation fast reactor, and waste disposal. So the role is that for interim storage as a near-term and medium-term measure for the management of spent nuclear fuel, and recycling and transmutation by power process and fast reactor as a long-term measure for management of spent nuclear fuel, and disposal of waste as an ultimate measure. By fully implementing that concept, we expect that we can get those four goals. We can reduce the disposal area needed to 100 compared with the direct disposal option. You can reduce the net radiotoxicity to 1,000 compared to the spent nuclear fuel. So we can only wait for 300 years to reduce the level of radiotoxicity to the level of natural uranium ore. Also, we can get uranium utilization factor 1 times compared with the 1 through nuclear fuel cycle. Also, we can have intrinsic proliferation resistance of the nuclear fuel cycle. So our current target is to construct a demonstration facility by the end of 2020s to verify the economic and technical viability and next generation safeguardability. Let me stop here and invite Mike Biles.
Thank you, Seoul. First of all, also thank you, Nicole. Thanks to KEI. And we're going to miss you, Seoul, when you go back to Korea. It certainly helped me understand the technical aspects of this issue and also some of the politics and history of this issue in South Korea. So, given everything that Seoul has said, what's the problem? Well, one thing I would like to say is we've been focusing on technical and economic issues, and there's a diplomatic and international security aspect to this problem that makes it much more complicated. South Korea is constrained by the terms of its bilateral nuclear cooperation agreement with the United States. These agreements were first signed in the 1970s and are up for renewal in 2014. Under these agreements, South Korea must obtain prior consent from the United States if it's going to reprocess any fuel supplied by the United States, which is most of its fuel, and effectively also any fuel that has been irradiated in its reactors, which makes up an even greater portion of the fuel. So in this sense, the United States has control of a large set of South Korean spent fuel in terms of how it's disposed. As I said, the nuclear cooperation agreement is going to expire in 2014, and in negotiating a new nuclear cooperation agreement, Seoul is seeking advance consent from the United States for reprocessing, so it can carry out the pyroprocessing technique Seung-Wan was talking about. But this is a right that only Japan, Switzerland, India, which is still negotiating how to carry out some of these rights, and Euratom have. So far, Washington has shown little inclination to grant the consent that South Korea wants. This is because U.S. policy has opposed the spread of reprocessing since reprocessing was used. And to be sure, this is standard reprocessing. Since reprocessing was used in the 1974 test of a peaceful nuclear explosion. In fact, in the 1970s, the United States prevented several attempts by South Korea to obtain standard reprocessing technology. The Bush administration was more open to the idea of pyroprocessing, including in the United States, and other reprocessing technologies, although it tried to confine these to what it called advanced nuclear states. Very importantly for the question right now, this policy had even changed by the end of the Bush administration, and the Department of Energy determined that pyroprocessing was not significantly more proliferation resistant than traditional reprocessing. This was a study that all the national laboratories participated in. And so far, the Obama administration, while it's outlining its own nuclear waste policy, including appointing a blue ribbon commission to look at the issue, has indicated it's shifting tack from immediate deployment of any reprocessing technologies to research development focus in the long term, and an immediate focus on interim storage, both for itself, and it's going to be pushing this idea on other countries. Washington also has specific concerns related to the Republic of Korea. This is because some of the past activities that were investigated by the IAEA when South Korea was coming into compliance with additional protocol turned up some experiments, including with plutonium reprocessing that were not in conformity with typical practice under safeguarded facilities. There was apparently, in the 1970s, the South Korean government at the time not only was looking at reprocessing, but for a time was interested in apparently using this reprocessing as part of a weapons program. And that was one of the reasons the United States campaigned to make sure that these facilities were not provided to South Korea. And I would say probably most importantly at this point, the 1992 Joint Declaration on Denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, signed by both the ROK and the DPRK, committed the two countries, quote, not to test, manufacture, produce, receive, possess, store, deploy, or use nuclear weapons, and to use nuclear energy solely for peaceful purposes, and not to possess facilities for nuclear reprocessing and uranium enrichment. Now, to be sure, North Korea has violated the Joint Declaration. Yet to date, South Korea has been reluctant to renounce the agreement altogether, hoping that North Korea can be lured back into eliminating its nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons program. The United States has strongly supported this position, with U.S. officials believing that if South Korea were to openly break with the agreement, it might provide a pretext for Pyongyang to claim that its behavior was no more illegitimate than that of its southern neighbor. Finally, some conclusions. Solving the issue of spent fuel will be the toughest one in these important negotiations that are coming up. And the importance of these negotiations and South Korea's role has only grown as South Korea has recently emerged as a significant nuclear exporter, having won a contract to sell 4 power reactors to the United Arab Emirates for $20 billion. Still, I'm confident as long-term close allies, the United States and the Republic of Korea will find a solution. And there's many inside and outside the two governments that are working on creative ideas. One thing that's particularly important is that the two countries have recently agreed to conduct a joint study on pyroprocessing to confirm its technical and economic viability and proliferation resistance. Thank you, and we look forward to your questions.
For questions and for the discussion portion of our program today. I would ask that you wait. We do have 2 microphones in the room. Wait for a microphone and identify yourself before you do pose your question. With that, actually, I'm ready to open up the floor. Does anybody have any comments? Yes, sir, to the right.
Hi, I'm Ivan Ulrich from the Federation of American Scientists, and I have a question for Dr. Park. You sort of skipped over the part about how this only makes sense in a context where you have fast neutron reactors. And we, the British, the French, the Japanese, have had a terrible, have spent tens of billions of dollars on fast reactors. No one has ever built a commercially successful fast reactor. What is Korea doing to build fast reactors, and why don't you solve that problem first, and then if you are able to solve that problem, unlike all these other countries, approach the reprocessing problem?
Well, that's a